Your latest news update from Western Mass News.
Good Thursday afternoon. I'm Chris Pisano with a look at your headlines. The family of a murder victim held a speak out today in Springfield asking for justice to be served. Frederick Pinney was charged with a crime back in 2014. In 2016, we learned he had a mistrial. He was in prison until about 2 years ago when he was released because he had COVID. Now, Tay Claire Moore's sisters are asking why he hasn't been tried again and why he gets to walk free. Springfield Mayor Dominic Sarno and other city leaders revealing their plan to provide continued tax relief to people in the city. Under the mayor's new tax relief plan, it will provide programs and initiatives for both residents and businesses in Springfield. The city will invest approximately $45 million from the city's stabilization reserve account into high-yield treasury notes, which will have a return on investment of approximately $2 million. And police appear to be collecting more information regarding missing Cohasset woman Anna Walsh's disappearance. Multiple sources telling Western Mass News affiliate WHDH that her husband, Brian Walsh, was captured by a security camera on New Year's Day near this dumpster behind a liquor store, and that state police are reviewing the video. It's from a shopping center across the street from Brian Walsh's mother's condominium.
I'm meteorologist Jana Brown with a check of your forecast. We have a steadier and heavier rain coming our way for tonight with rising temperatures, so no threat for ice. Definitely not during the overnight or even into Friday. Temperatures will continue to climb, and in fact, rain will last into Friday morning, and as the sun comes up, temps will be in the lower to middle 50s. It will turn blustery overnight, though. Wind will be shifting out of the south and west and could occasionally gust as high as 20 to 30 miles an hour. Now, after some early morning rain, we'll have occasional showers as we go throughout the day. Most of the afternoon is looking dry and still blustery with wind shifting back to the north and west. So this system departs Friday, so we'll be drying out as we head into the weekend. Saturday, high pressure starts building in, but we're also between high pressure and some coastal lows passing well to our east. This is going to keep things a little breezy, and we'll still have some patchy clouds around. For Sunday, we may also have a few clouds due to departing low pressure to our east, but overall it is looking dry and quiet for the weekend, just breezy. Mid-30s Saturday, low 40s Sunday, and low 40s for Martin Luther King Day.
Stay with Western Mass News on air, online, and on our app throughout the day for breaking news, weather, and exclusive content.